exciting. All right, I worked at YU. I can put your hands down now, thank you. I worked at YU for about 4.5 years in the counseling center. And the counseling center was opened for the students so they would have a place to come and talk about issues that they were having. So the regular things like depression, anxiety, OCD, general Jewish, being neurotic, that kind of thing. One thing that I think that they didn't have in mind when they hired me for the job was that I was going to be meeting with a lot of guys who had issues with porn. Okay? In fact, when I got there, I started meeting a lot of guys who had issues with porn. And they started coming in to tell me about this. And some of these guys had very major issues with porn. They said that it was keeping them up at night. They said that they couldn't have a regular relationship with girls, right? They couldn't date normally. They said that it was ruining their ability to study, right? It was affecting their ability to concentrate. And what was even more troubling to me is that some of these guys were telling me their use of porn and masturbation had nothing to do with being horny, for lack of a better word. Being, I don't know how to put it nicely, sexually aroused, right? We would think, or I would have thought back then, people who are looking at porn, it's because it's coming from some sexual place, a place of sexual desire. But what these guys were telling me was that it was actually coming from something totally different. They were looking at porn not just when they were in the mood, but when they were angry. They were looking at porn when they were tired. They were looking at porn when they were stressed out, before they had to write a paper or take a test, right? And what these guys soon were telling me was that porn was not about sex for them. It had become a way to cope with life. It had become a way for them to deal with stress. It had become a way for them to deal with anxiety, right? It had become a way for them to deal with anger, right? And that to me was the weirdest one of all. I'm like, what does looking at porn and masturbating have to do with being angry? So anyway, when I went to talk to my superior people there, the director of the counseling center and all that, they said to me, look, tell these guys porn is normal, masturbation is normal. Tell them not to be so frum. Tell them, like, it's okay, it's all right, don't worry about it, don't make a big deal about it. And I remember thinking, that's not it at all. Like, you guys, you're totally missing the boat. And it happened to be I was like a generation younger than everyone else who worked there. Everyone else was about 20 years older than me. And I'm like, I don't think you guys understand what's going on. This generation is dealing with something that you guys never had to deal with. And that's completely true, right? You guys are basically the children of the internet. I don't know if that's the right way to put it. You guys all were born, wait, how old's everyone here, 18? 19? So what is that? I'm not good at math. What year were you guys born?
98.
98, 97? Okay, so 97, 98, I think at that point everyone already had broadband internet, probably when you were born, right? I don't remember what year they got broadband, but in other words, when you guys were growing up, broadband internet was already normal. It was as normal as having, milk in the fridge. It was just part of life, or having a phone, or a TV or anything, right? Maybe not TV, right? God forbid a TV. But a telephone, right? Everyone had a telephone. Broadband internet was normal for you guys. So when you guys learned about sex, right? I'm not talking about you guys, I'm talking about your generation learned about sex. There was never such a thing as sex without internet, right? And what that means is there's no such thing as sex without porn, okay? So we have a whole generation, actually at this point more than one generation, who've grown up with the idea of sex and porn are completely mixed and intertwined, okay? And I think people don't even necessarily realize what that means, because for you guys, there was never such a thing as sex without porn. Those guys who I worked with at the counseling center, when I tell them about porn, they're thinking about porn the old days, right? So someone had a Playboy magazine or something like that, right? Porn of yesteryear is not like the porn of today. The porn of today is a completely different thing. The porn back then was not what it is today. So how's